SIBN Sports.
What's up, y'all? This is your girl, Clara Salette, coming at you from the studio, SIBN Sports Desk. I am so excited. First of all, I want to say I hope that you had a very Merry Christmas. Hope you had happy holidays. You had a fun time, wonderful, relaxing time with your family, and that you got all the gifts and presents that you wanted, and even some that you needed. You know how that is, right? The fuzzy socks and all that good stuff. Stuff that I love, and the wraps, and, you know, all the stuff that we love for cozy time. And I also wanted to say happy New Year to all of you, all of our listeners, all of you that support us on a regular basis, that listen in. We want you to know how much we appreciate your support. We do not take it lightly, and we do not take it for granted. Now listen, I want you to continue to follow us, but I want to give you some places where you can follow us, where you can chat, where you can talk to us, give us your comments of what you think. You can go to www.sibntelevision.com for all of our regular scheduled programming. That is where you can find so many different things that we do on SIBNtelevision.com for our regular programming. Also, at Spreaker.com, if you search SIBN Television and Radio, you can also follow us there for all of our regular programs for the SIBN Sports and some other great things that we're doing on SIBN Television and Radio. We are so thankful for all of your support. Again, you can also find us on Facebook at SIBN Sportscast fan page. Listen, follow us. Let us know that you appreciate the show. Let us know what you think about the show. And we want to hear from you. To all of our fans, all of our supporters, thank you so very much. I am here in the studio. I know you guys have been listening, and we've had a few changes over the weeks because of the holidays and everything that's going on. So, you know, you always have to make adjustments and things like that, and that's okay. We're okay with that. So we do what we have to do. I'm so excited. I miss my guy, Matthew, in the studio, but he's got a lot going on right now, holidays and New Year and all that. But we will be back in the studio. So continue to listen out for your news desk team, as we call it, for all of the great things that are going on. Now, listen, there's a lot of hot sports news out there. I want to start the show a little bit differently because, you know, we were leading up into the playoffs for Week 17. A lot of teams trying to get into the playoff. A lot of teams had hopes of being in the playoffs. A lot of teams did not make it. But as a result of that, you had a lot of coaching and GM changes. And I want to talk about that a little bit because it is going to matter a lot in the coming year for football. After a 42-7 loss to New York Giants, the coach for Philadelphia, which everybody had been saying was going to happen anyway, Andy Reid is out as head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles after a 4-12 season. Don't feel sorry for Andy Reid. He's already been scouted by the Kansas City Chiefs, which he may be already in the works of a deal, from what I understand. He's been scouted by San Diego Chargers. He's also being scouted by Arizona Cardinals. Don't feel sorry for Andy Reid. We know he is a great coach. Sorry to see him leave Philadelphia, but you understand this game. If you don't win, you don't coach at that teams for that team. So hey, he is out, but we're not going to put our head down. We're going to watch to see where he ends up in the next season. Now, they didn't do anything with Vic. We're going to wait to see what happens in the coming year for Mike Vick. I know everybody's on the edge of their seat. We can't wait to see what happens for him. So shout out to Andy Reid, and we'll be watching to see where you end up. Cleveland Browns has ousted their coach, Pat Schumer, and also their general manager, Tom Heckert. They were both fired after a 5-11 season. No surprise there as well. Matt Murlocky of Jacksonville Jaguars was also hired in January, and he was fired in December after a 2-14 season there in Jacksonville. Let's go on over to the Chargers. They fired North Turner and general manager A.J. Smith after a 7-9 season. In Chicago, I don't know if this is a surprise or not. I was kind of like, really? They let Lovie Smith go? Yes, you heard it here on the SIBN Sports Desk. Lovie Smith has been fired as the head coach of the Chicago Bears after not making the playoffs after a 10-6 season, which is not that bad, but he did not make the playoffs. So unfortunately, and they barely beat the Lions 26-24. And did not make it into the playoffs. So that is a big loss for Chicago. We will see who ends up as head coach of the Chicago Bears for next season. Romeo Crennel was fired as head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs. No surprise there as well. After a 2-14 season. Ken Whisenhunt was fired as the head coach, and general manager Rod Graves was fired as the GM of the Arizona Cardinals. They started the season 4-0, and they ended up 5-11. So out of the last 12 games, they only won one game. That is amazing. No surprise to see both the GM and the quarterback fired in that instance. You also have for the Carolina Panthers to finish 7-9. Don't know what's going to happen with the coach there. We're going to wait to see what happens. But they finished 7-9 with a three-way tie in the NFC South with New Orleans and Tampa Bay. So there you go. But you know they were not doing that well at the beginning of the season. So to finish in a three-way tie is actually pretty good for the Cardinals, because they were actually like 2-something. It was ridiculous how bad they were playing. And they stepped up their game a little bit. You know, with a quarterback like Cam Newton, you're not surprised to see that the team was able to come back as they were, but it still did not get them into the playoffs. You also have fired as the Buffalo Bills head coach, Chan Gailey, was also ousted as the coach for the Buffalo Bills. Last but not least, Rex Ryan of the New York Jets probably is going to be out. They did fire now their general manager, Mike Tannenbaum, for the New York Jets. No surprise there as well. Everybody know what happened with the Jets and how they fell apart. It was just ridiculous to watch them fall apart as they did. They went back and forth with Sanchez and with Tebow, who's going to be the quarterback. They pretty much just decided totally against Tebow. The Jets was just a hot mess to finish the season with 6-10. No surprise. Everybody knows what's going to happen there. And I was surprised to see that the 49ers released their running back, Brandon Jacobs. Maybe you guys are not surprised about that. I'm not sure. But I was a little bit surprised to see that they did release Brandon Jacobs as their running back. Some other hot news. Listen, I was watching it now. I was so excited for Adrian Peterson of the Vikings to have an opportunity to beat the single-season record of Eric Dickerson for 2,105 rushing yards. I was so sad that he missed that record by only 9 yards, y'all. Oh, my God. It was so close for him. I would have loved to see this young man come back after an injury, ACL injury, to be able to come back so quickly and accomplish what he's accomplished in such a short period of time. It would have been so nice. I don't know about you, but I would have been happy to see him beat that record. But he did come up 9 yards short to finish with 2,097 rushing yards on the season, and also to help his team go to the playoffs with the win over the Green Bay Packers, 37-34. Great job, Adrian Peterson and the Minnesota Vikings. Good job to get into the playoffs. But it would have been nice to see him win. There was so much interesting things going on. Another team that was trying to make it in. You know, Dallas played against the Washington Redskins to decide which team would go into the playoffs. Well, let's bow our heads with sadness. Well, for me, you guys know I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan, and so I was a little disappointed when Dallas did not win against the Washington Redskins. One of my fans said to me, it's all about who wants to win it bad enough, and evidently Dallas did not want it bad enough. They lost to the Washington Redskins 18-28 to end their season. But Washington Redskins are in the playoffs. They are very excited. RG3, an exciting quarterback, exciting young man. It's good to see what he's doing in Washington. So we'll be excited to see what happens with Washington in the playoffs. We will be watching you, RG3, to see how you do. Now, when we come back, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to continue to talk about the playoffs. We're going to go into some of the games of the week that we were watching, some of the teams that we were watching, because we want to see who's going to win, who's going to make it into the playoffs, and all of those great things. We're also going to talk about the teams that got a bye in the first round. Hey, listen, guys. You are listening to Clara Celeste, your girl, on SIBN Sports. Do not move. We're coming back with some more exciting things about sports because we know, just like us, you're a sports fanatic. Thank you for listening. We'll see you in a few minutes. Don't touch that mouse.
You're listening to SIBN Radio. We'll be right back in a moment. Now is the time to have your business online with the Select USA TV iBroadcasting Network. That's right, SIBN or Select USA TV will produce your video on the spot. Picture business videos, on location streaming videos, or on location production videos. Dial 678-830-3118 or call the office at 404-910-5019 Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now is the time to have your business online with SIBN. The Select USA TV iBroadcasting Network now offers picture videos, on-location streaming videos, and on-location production videos for your event cause, brand, or mission. Call today, 678-830-3118 or 404-910-5019.
Right, but a talking gecko, why?
I'll tell you why. Because people trust advertising icons. Some bloke tells you to go to geico.com and you're like, really? Just who might you be? But a gecko, he can be trusted. I ask if you want to save hundreds on car insurance, and you're like, yes, thank you. Mind babysitting my kids? And I'm like, of course I'll sit with the kids. You're like a brother to me.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
It's 2:30 in the morning, and your mom just woke me up because she had her very first craving, and so we came to Burger King so she could get a Whopper.
So good.
Look at
Burger King is celebrating 55 years of the Whopper sandwich and inviting you to share your best Whopper moments.
Thanks for waking me up.
Thanks for buying me a Burger King.
I was once used for small jobs.
And I took on all the bigger, tougher ones, but with Mr. Clean's new Select-A-Size Magic Eraser, he can take on any size job.
At least we don't go near Rex's mobile home as often.
What are you, scared?
New Mr. Clean Select-A-Size Magic Eraser.
The call to serve. It has no sound, yet I have heard it in the whispered retelling of honorable sacrifices made by those who have served before me. The call to serve has no form, yet I have clearly seen it. In the eyes of men and women infinitely more courageous and more driven than most. The call to serve has no weight, yet I have held it in my hands. I will commit to carry it close to my heart until my country is safe and the anguish of those less fortunate has been soothed. The call to serve is at once invisible and always present. And for those who choose to answer the call, For their country, for their fellow man, for themselves. It is the most powerful force on earth. America's Navy. A global force for good.
You're listening to SIBN Radio on the Select USA TV iBroadcasting Network. You're listening to SIBN Radio.
All right, y'all, this is your girl Clara Select coming back at you at the SIBN Sports Desk. When we went to break, we were talking about Adrian Peterson and what happened with him over in his win against the Green Bay Packers in that game. But we also were talking about the fact that he did not make the yards that he needed to pass Eric Dixon. Now, I do want to say this, honorable mention. He still had 199 yards in that game. I just had to say that. That's just ridiculous. I cannot wait to watch this young man next season to see what happens. And I mean, I know it's not over yet because, you know, they're in the playoffs as well. So we'll get a chance to see him run some more. We'll see what happens with him in the coming year. I'm very excited about Adrian Peterson. I don't know about you guys, but, you know, you like to see people come back from injuries and different things. And on that same note, I have to say this. I know a lot of fans of this young man is not going to be happy to hear this, but Ray Lewis of the Ravens has decided that this is his last season. He will retire after the playoffs. No more Ray Lewis with the Baltimore Ravens. That's sad for me because I love Ray Lewis. He's a great defensive player. He is just he's a great team leader as well, but he has great plans for his future. His son is playing football. He wants to be able to watch his son, and then he also has an opportunity to be a commentator. They're after him big. I think ESPN and some others are looking at Ray Lewis as a commentator. I mean, goodness, y'all. I mean, you're not surprised about that for Ray Lewis because, I mean, he's a great leader. He's a great speaker. He we've watched him speak to his team, encourage his team, the defensive end of everything, and just, he's a great player. So it'll be sad to see him go, but he has had a great career. Good luck to you, Adrian Peterson. I mean, look, I done went back to Adrian Peterson. I got so excited about him. But good luck to you, Ray Lewis, on your retirement. Now, one of the other honorable mention things I wanted to talk about, it's not an honorable mention, but, there was a lot of teams that did not make it into the playoffs that, people were looking to see if they were going to make it. And one of them was the Chicago Bears, which, again, I was surprised about the exit of Coach Lovie Smith, but the Chicago Bears did not make it. It was a surprise that they didn't make it in. And it was also a surprise that they fired Lovie Smith. The Bears GM, Phil Emery, had previously refused to extend his contract. So don't know what that was all about. Little bit surprised. They finished the season with 10-6. I'm sure you guys are all out there. Anybody that's a Chicago Bears fan right now, you have to be like wondering what happened in Chicago for them to make such a drastic decision to get rid of Lovie Smith. So it'll be interesting to see where he ends up. They said the candidates so far for Chicago would be the offensive coordinator, Mike Sullivan, for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Mike McCoy, the Denver Broncos. So we'll see what happens in Chicago. It'll be very interesting after taking Lovie Smith out of the game. That's going to be interesting. Another team that did not make it into the playoffs. Man, this is big. The defending champions, New York Giants, Eli Manning, they did not make it into the playoffs. That was huge. I'm sorry, y'all, but man, I am sitting here with my mouth wide open. Cannot believe that the New York Giants will not be in the playoffs this year. They had it was too little too late. They did win over Philadelphia 42-7 but it was just too little too late, and they were not able to make it into the playoffs. I just cannot believe it. But with the Washington Redskins win over the Cowboys, that put the Redskins in, New York out, and also Dallas out, which had Dallas at finishing the season at 8-7. The Giants finished at 9-7, and the Washington Redskins finished at 9-6. So yeah, that was not expected, but you know, Eli Manning always bounces back. We'll be watching next season for Eli to see him come back from this loss. And then the Dallas Cowboys, man, I'm just like, really? Okay, we're not going to talk about it. I want to see some shake-up in Dallas, though. Any Dallas fans out there with me, please let me know what you think. I need to see some shake-up in Dallas because you have a team as such as the Dallas Cowboys. You should be winning games, okay? You should be winning games, and you're not. You're not in the playoffs again. I need some shakeup going on. Jerry Jones, you need to make some shakeup happen in Dallas. We want to see a better team next year. I don't want to see that junk I saw this year. I'm sorry. I went off on a little rampage. I like the Cowboys, guys. You know that. So I don't want to see that again. Again, Philadelphia, the Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm sorry, also did not make it into the playoffs this year. They finished 8-8. Another team that I'm not really sad about that did not make it into the playoffs is the New Orleans Saints. 7-9, they finished the season. We know they had a bad start anyway. They had a lot going on. Not making excuses for them, but you know about all the bounty crap that was going on with the New Orleans Saints. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with the Saints in the next season. Drew Brees is just an outstanding quarterback. He's a great leader, and we know he is really, really, really good. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see. And then a lot of the other teams, the Eagles, you have the Jaguars, the Kansas City Chiefs, which are all of the low end of total pound teams. You had Oakland Raiders, you had Detroit Lions finished 4-12, Cleveland Browns finished 5-11, Arizona Cardinals finished 5-11, Tennessee Titans finished 6-10, New York Jets finished 6-10, Buffalo Bills also finished 6-10, Tampa Bay Buccaneers finished 7-9, and then you had San Diego Chargers finished 7-9. Miami Dolphins finished 7-9, St. Louis Rams 7-8, and one tie game. So, I mean, it is what it is. Now, listen here, guys. We got some shout-outs going down here. I'm going to take a quick break for a shout-out break because we want to welcome to SIBN Sports Desk one of our friends and supporters who is a great guy doing his own thing with Q Time Entertainments. I want y'all to give a warm welcome to one of our shout-outs for today, QB, Quentin Butler, better known as Quentin Butler from Q Time Entertainments. What's up, QB?
What up, SIBN? How y'all doing out there?
We're doing good, man. What's going down with Q Time Entertainments?
Well, with Q Time right now, we have Dirty Rose that we working on, Tonto, J. Scott, and MG Watley. So y'all can go on YouTube, Reverb Nation, and look that up. We're doing a lot of work. Just had a great meeting last night with a marketing team. So we're looking to move forward to doing big things.
Awesome, man. That's so exciting. I'm so happy for you. And I want you to know how much I appreciate all of your support for SIBN Sports. I want to thank you for calling in to give a shout out to all of our listeners and followers.
Yeah, I'd like to give a mad shout out to SIBN Sportscast. From Q Time Entertainment. We looking to merge to do a lot of business together. You're going to hear a lot about Q Time this year. And on the Q Time end, you're going to hear a lot of SIBN Sportscast. So y'all look forward to that in 2013.
We are excited about it, man. We know we're going to be able to do some great things. So I want to thank you so much for calling in. Thank you for your shout out. Again, y'all, this is my boy, QB, Q Time Entertainment. They can find you on Facebook also, right?
You also can find me on Facebook. And then since we are talking about sports, I definitely want to say I'm praying that Andy Reid come to the Chiefs.
He giving a shout out for Andy Reid. Well, they said that the talks are in the works right now for Andy Reid to sign with the Chiefs. So we are excited because we've been talking about that today, and we cannot wait to see where Andy Reid ends up. We're excited for him because he's a great coach. So we're definitely going to be listening, and we're crossing our fingers for you, dude, that you get him.
All right. I appreciate it. Chiefs Nation.
Chief Nation. All right, dude. Good to hear from you. Thank you so much for calling. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Again, y'all, that was my boy Quentin Butler, better known as QB for Q-Time Entertainment. We're so excited, and we thank him for his support, listening in and supporting SIBN Sports. And we will be getting together with him. We're also going to have him in as a special guest on the show as well to talk with us, and we're just going to hang out and have a good time. So we want to thank him so much. Anybody else out there that would like to give a shout out, like to call into the show, we want you to know that that opportunity is available to you. Hit us up on Facebook at SIBN Sportscast fan page, and we'd be glad. Just send me a message. I will definitely get back with you. Send me your phone number. We'll give you a shout out. We'll holler at you, and we'll see if we can get you on live on the show. But we want to give a shout out to QB again. Thank you so much for calling in. I also want to give a shout out to Nikki Towers. She is another one of my friends on Facebook. She is doing so many great things in the ATL. She is a stepper with I think it's the Southside Steppers over in Atlanta. And I'm going to hook up with them also this year. We're going to be doing some things together. I want to give a shout out to Nikki. What's up, Nikki? This is your girl, Clara Salat. I can't wait for us to get together and do some great things. All right, y'all, listen. We're going to take another break, but I'm going to tell y'all something. Your girl, Clara Salat. Yeah, that's me. Yeah, your girl, the sports enthusiast, that's me. The sports fanatic, that's me. My birthday is coming up. Now, y'all go on Facebook, find your girl, Clara Salet, ClaraSalette. You can find me on Facebook. Go in, sign up, be my friend, whatever you want to do. And I am looking for a lot of birthday wishes. Come on, y'all. Let's get it done. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all for listening. I'm going to take a quick break. We're going to be back with some more hot topics and news for you from the SIBN Sportscast.
I want to ask you a question. Who's coaching you? Who's asking you the tough questions? Who's telling you, man, you're the common denominator to all of your issues and challenges? Who's telling you, man, all day long you become the magnetic pulse that attracts to you both good and bad? I want to be your life coach. I want to be the one that cheers you on to the finish line. I want to be the one that you ask the tough questions. And it doesn't mean that I have all the answers, but that means that you have a partner, someone who believes in you, not the you see right now, but the you can't imagine, the you that you are to become, the you are destined to be. I always say we both need the positive and the negative. It's not enough to have the knowledge of the matter, but we must have the wisdom as well. For wisdom settles it. And that's what I want to offer you as you join me on the Coach's Corner. I want to offer you the wisdom of the matter. Maybe it might be relationships, talking about our campaigns for more, for life, the dark room for our subconscious, our spiritual journey, whatever it is. I want to be there to encourage you, to build you, to challenge you, to cheer you on to the finish line. I'm qualified to do this. Why? Because I'm you. Live and on demand, SIBN Radio. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Spreaker, Select USA TV, SIBN Radio. Keep it locked right here, man. Now back to the show.
All right, y'all. This is your girl, Clara Salette, and we are back at the sports desk. Again, we want to thank all of those that have shouted us out and those that are supporting us and all of that. I have to say that, y'all, can't say it enough because I really am thankful and grateful to all of you for all of your support. You know, there's not a lot of ladies out there doing sports like this, and I love sports. I really do. I just really enjoy it, and I just want to share my enthusiasm for sports with you. And those of you that are enjoying it and liking it, giving us your comments and things, it means a lot, and I want you to know. Now listen, SIBN Sports is not the only part of SIBN Television and Radio. We have other parts and things that are going on, and I'm telling you, we are blowing it up for the new year. So listen, there's a wonderful young man out of Dallas that has joined the team. His name is DJ Donnie B. Want to give a shout out to DJ Donnie B. You're also going to, starting Monday, you will be able to, starting Monday through Fridays, you will be able to catch Donnie B in the morning on SIBN Television and Radio. He does old school music. He is a blast. We want you to know that we want you to listen to him, check him out, see what he's doing. Again, that is DJ Donnie B. He's going to be doing old school and gospel out of Dallas. Thank you for being a part of this team. We're so excited to have you. Shouts out again to DJ Donnie B. We look forward to you joining the SIBN Television and Radio cast. I'm excited. Yay! Also, I want to give a shout out to our coach, Coach Marcus Select. That is him. He has what is called the Coach's Corner show that comes on Monday through Friday every morning, 7:05 Eastern Time. You must come and hear what Coach has to say. He gives words of encouragement to help you through things that you're going through in your life, difficult times, to help us get over our past, to help us get through some of those times that we just sometimes don't understand. Words of encouragement. I'm telling you, it is off the chains. You need to come and listen. He is also on demand. Again, www.sibntelevision.com is where you can find all of our regularly scheduled programming. We are live and on demand. So if you want to listen live, again, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m., he will be there, the coach, to give you a word. And it's good to wake up early and get that word because, boy, I'm telling you, we all need to be encouraged. Am I right about it? Y'all know I am. Okay, listen, we're going to continue on with the sports for today. I want to break down a couple of things. Now, listen, the 4 teams that earned a bye for the first round of the playoffs were the Falcons, the Broncos, the 49ers, and the Patriots. Man, let me tell you something. I was talking on last week, and I was just talking about the Patriots, and I was just saying, you know, the New England Patriots and Tom Brady are not going to sit by quietly and let this thing pass them by. And they did not do that. The Patriots won big over the Miami Dolphins, 28-0. Yes, I said it. 28-0. Brady had a great game, 22 of 36 for 284 passing yards, 0 interceptions, 2 touchdowns. That is Tom Brady, y'all. He ain't nothing to be played with. And they got a bye for the first round of the playoffs. And then you have the San Francisco 49ers, who beat the Cardinals big, 27-13. Let me tell you something. The 49ers are a sleeping giant. I'm going to tell you right now. You guys are listening and watching Alex Smith, Kaepernick over there. For them to have both of those quarterbacks, and they're both very good quarterbacks. Kaepernick's 16 of 28 for 276 yards, 2 touchdowns. That kid is up and coming. Now, what is going to happen in the new season, in the new year, is going to be determined what happens in this playoff for them and who's going to be the leading quarterback for that team. Alex Smith, 1 for 1 for 6 yards, 0 interceptions, 0 touchdowns. So we know he didn't play that much in the game. Kaepernick actually was the starting quarterback for that game. Again, Kaepernick, 16 of 28. I want y'all to hear this because this is going to be very, very crucial in what's going to happen in San Francisco in the coming year. For 276 passing yards and 2 touchdowns, that young man is making things happen over there in San Francisco. Another team that has earned a bye week. Then, y'all know, every time I open my mouth to say it, the Denver Broncos and Peyton Manning. I'm sorry, Eli. This is not your year. This is your brother's year. Listen, the coach got to be sitting up on the edge of their seat saying, what were we thinking? We should have waited. We were too impatient. He's Peyton Manning. Goodness gracious, you know? Well, Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos beat up on the Kansas City Chiefs. No surprise, 38-3. Surprised they let them even get 3. But 38-3, they beat up real good on them. Peyton Manning is just, what can you say? 23 of 29 for 304 passing yards. He threw 3 touchdowns. Peyton Manning, you are just ridiculous. I cannot wait to see Peyton Manning play in the playoffs. Can't wait to see what's going to happen with Peyton Manning. I'm telling y'all, this is going to be, to me, I think, with these top quarterbacks playing right now, one of the best playoff seasons we have ever had. I know y'all got to agree with me on that. Go on Facebook and tell me what you think. You've got to agree with me on that. These quarterbacks are ridiculous. Again, you also had our Atlanta Falcons. Now listen, y'all. I don't want to be negative about our Falcons. A lot of you, we love the Falcons. We want to see them do well. We want to see them, win, right? I just want to know, Falcons, where were you on Sunday? I know you were playing against the Buccaneers. I know you were at the Dome. I'm just asking a question. Where were you for real? Because I don't understand. The Falcons can lose to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home at the Dome. I'm sorry, I had to slow that one down because we're in the playoffs, guys. Don't sit down. We know that you have already won your playoff berth. We know that you're top. Right now, you're the top team. We understand that. But what I don't understand is why you would lose this game to the last team in the NFC South. In your division now, listen, in your division, Falcons. I'm sorry, I should move on. But I just have a hard time understanding why the Falcons would allow themselves to lose this game. It just looked like to me they couldn't get it together. They just were not jiving. The quarterback, Ryan, was not jiving with his receivers, just not making it happen. And just the defense wasn't there like they've been in times past. I don't know. Just wasn't impressed at all. Let's tell you why. Matt Ryan was 28 of 44. He threw a lot of passes. But what does that tell you? 28 of 44. They were not connecting, okay? That's what it tells me. They were not connecting. He threw for 238 yards only. To me, when you throw 44 passes, you should have way more than 238 yards. What did that tell you? What did that tell you? 0 interceptions, okay, he didn't throw any interceptions. But he only had 1 touchdown. 1 touchdown pass. It got quiet on the set. It got quiet on the set. They say the Falcons have a small heart. I don't want to hear that. But I'm going to say this, y'all, and I'm going to move on from the Falcons because I get a little bit upset when I talk about the Falcons because I know that they have the potential. let me talk about some of the people that play for the Falcons. Okay? First of all, quarterback Matt Ryan. He's a great quarterback, y'all. We need to do a little work with him, though, on some of his skills, I think. To get him to another level, he needs a little bit of work on reading the defense and things like that. Being able to sync up with his guys. He needs a little work in that area. We may need to get him with a Peyton Manning or Eli Manning or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Let somebody mentor this kid because he has the great potential, but I think he's lacking in areas that are very, very important. And we don't want to lose heart at this point in the season because it's playoff time, y'all. Ain't nobody got time to be playing, okay? You got wide receiver Jones. You got wide receiver Roddy White. You got tight end Tony Gonzalez. Pro Bowler Tony Gonzalez, yes. I mean, you have defense, they cool. You got Samuels, Asante Samuels. You got, I'm just going on. Witherspoon. You got Abraham, which Abraham is injured. Hopefully, this bye will give him an opportunity to get back on his feet. He had an ankle injury, supposedly just a sprain. Hopefully, that's all it is. We definitely cannot lose Abraham on the defense to go into the playoffs. That's not going to be a good look. So, with such a great all-star team, the Falcons should be winning games. I expect after this bye week for them to get their butts out here. They say they're not going to take it lightly during this time, that they're going to be out there practicing, they're going to be preparing, they're going to be looking at tapes. I really hope so, because you cannot come into this thing lightly and think just because you're at the top, you're going to win. It does not work like that. You have to put in the effort. You have to put in the time. We need to see some heart from you guys here in Atlanta. We want to see you play with heart. We want you to act like you really want it bad enough. Let's get it done. Every team has to come through the dome. You don't lose at home. You understand? This was important for you to get the home field advantage. You got it. Let's make it happen. I'm sorry, y'all. I went on a little rampage. I'll take a quick break so I can take a breather. I need to take a deep breath. I need to gather my thoughts and get myself together, because that one has me a little bit distraught. This is your girl, Clara Salette, on the SIBN Sports Desk. Y'all hold on to your seat. I'll be back with you in a few minutes, okay?
There is no greater place where you can improve your life right here and right now than on SIBN television and radio networks. Hi, my name is Marcus Salette, and this is your technology update. For those of you that would like to join our community, please visit www.sibntelevision.com. And above there in the tabs, you'll see Community. Click on that and you will be there. But you must register with an email, and of course, it's free of charge. Once you register, you can then begin to share in the SIBN television and radio family, posting your links, pictures, and so much more. Again, thank you in advance for following us, sharing, and of course, by all means, listening. This has been your technology update. My name is Marcus Salette, aka The Coach.
You're listening to SIBN Radio on the Select USA TV iBroadcasting Network. You're listening to SIBN Radio.
All right, y'all. We're back. Okay. I was able to gather myself. This is your girl, Clara Salette, with SIBN Sports at the desk. I was able to gather myself. I took a deep breath. I'm all right now. So we're going to be watching Falcons, and we expect you to get yourselves together and prepare to be the team that you are. Now, listen, coming up this week, the games to watch are going to be Cincinnati at Houston. Cincinnati Bengals are going to play in a wild card game for the playoffs against Cincinnati. playing against Houston. They will be at Houston. So we'll see if the Houston Texans will be able to clinch a playoff spot this week against Cincinnati. We'll see. Minnesota at Green Bay. Minnesota Vikings will go to Green Bay to play the Packers for wild card playoffs. I'm telling y'all, I'd like to see Minnesota Vikings win. I'm sorry, Green Bay Packers. Oops. I'd like to see the Vikings win. I want to see what's going to happen with Adrian Peterson. It'll be really nice to see an underdog win for a change. I love underdogs. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sure some of y'all are the same way. It'll be interesting to watch that one. Another game coming up is going to be Indianapolis Colts going to be playing against the Baltimore Ravens. Whee! We'll see who's going to win that game to continue in the playoffs. And then Seattle will be going to Washington, because we know it was up between Washington and Dallas. We know Washington did beat Dallas. So Seattle will be playing Washington in the playoffs. And then the divisional rounds, you got Denver holding on to see who's going to be playing them, San Francisco, Atlanta, and New England. We are rounding this thing up, guys. Is it going to be Houston or Cincinnati? Is it going to be Minnesota or Green Bay? Please go onto the Facebook fan page and tell me who you think is going to make it into the final round of the playoffs. Who's going to play who? Is it going to be Indianapolis or is it going to be Baltimore? Is it going to be Seattle or is it going to be Washington? Boy, we got some games to watch this week. I cannot wait until next week so we can see who's going to win to be in the playoffs. It's going to be exciting. I'm excited. Aren't you guys excited? It's going to be exciting. Listen, now y'all know I'm always talking about football. Before I go to basketball, though, I got to talk about the bowls, because there's a big game coming up this week still with Alabama and Notre Dame. Notre Dame and Alabama. This is a huge bowl game. Everybody's going to be watching. And you know, with a victory for Alabama, this would become the first college football program with 3 national titles in 4 seasons since Nebraska did it in 1994, 1995, and 1997. Yes, they are saying the D word for Alabama. Yes, the D word. Dynasty. OMG. That's huge, right? So I know we're all going to be watching to see if Alabama will be able to overtake Notre Dame. That's going to be a huge game. I'm telling you right now, it all comes down. I always hear this, and I really believe it on this one. Who wants it bad enough? Because both of those teams are great. They both play very well. It's all about who wants it bad enough. That's going to be a huge game. Now, the bowl games are last week. You had the Gator Bowl, Northwestern over Mississippi State 34-20. In the heart of Dallas Bowl, you had Oklahoma State 58-14 over Purdue. Then you had the Outback Bowl, South Carolina 33-28 over Michigan. You had the Capital One Bowl, Georgia won big over Nebraska 45-31 to win the Capital One Bowl. You had the Rose Bowl. Big winner, Stanford beat Wisconsin 20-14 to win the Rose Bowl. You got the Orange Bowl coming up this week. Northern Illinois versus Florida State. Northern Illinois is 16th place. Florida State is 12th place. We'll be watching to see who wins the Orange Bowl. We'll also be watching Alabama and Notre Dame, which is the big game. Everybody wants to see who's going to win that one. So we'll be listening and we'll be watching to see who's going to take it all. All right, guys. Thank you for that. Now listen. We're making a switch. Moving on down the road. I'm going to tell y'all something. Now that football season is coming to an end, y'all gonna see a crazy, ridiculous person on this radio. Here, because I am, now I love football, don't get me wrong, I am a sports fanatic. People cannot believe how much sports I love. But I'm going to tell you something right here, right now. I am going to be so into basketball in the NBA. Y'all going to be like, what is wrong with that girl? She has lost her mind. Yes, I am. I am a basketball freak. I love me some basketball. And I'm going to be all over the NBA watching and seeing what is going on. But I'm going to tell you this now. Right now as it stands, the Heat ain't nothing to be played with. Yes, I said it. The Miami Heat is trying to let y'all know that they want a repeat championship. And they playing like it too. Right now, Miami is 21-8. Let me tell you what I'm excited about, though. I'm excited about the Hawks because, you know, we get excited every year. You know, Atlanta have all the different teams and they have an opportunity to win. That's why I went so crazy about the Atlanta Falcons, because I want to see them do well, because Atlanta deserves a winning team this year. We deserve it. We're good fans. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, Atlanta is playing well, though. They're 19-10. Good job, guys. Keep up the good work. New York is still playing well. 21-9. New York. Nobody's surprised about that. New York still playing well. 21-9. Nobody even close to them in the Atlantic Conference. Brooklyn 16-15. Boston 14-16. Boston is not playing well at all this year. Philadelphia 14-17, and Toronto 11-20. Orlando 12-19, not playing well at all this year. Charlotte 8-23. Washington 4-25. And then in the Central, you have Indiana at 18-13. You have Chicago at 16-13, Milwaukee at 16-13, Detroit 11-22, and Cleveland at 7-20. Cleveland is just not having a good year in anything. They're at the bottom in basketball, at the bottom in football. I'm sorry, did I say that? I was laughing. What now? Yes, I was. It's funny. Southwest Western Conference, you got San Antonio at 25-8. San Antonio, I'm telling y'all, that's a great record. San Antonio is looking good. I'm going to be watching all over San Antonio to see what happens with them this season, because they're looking really, really good right now. You got Memphis at 19-9. You got Houston at 17-14. Dallas Mavericks are at 13-19. They're not playing that well this year. New Orleans at 7-23. In the Northwest, you got the big team in the Western Conference, which is Oklahoma Thunder. 24-6. They are proving that they are still a contender in the NBA. I am watching too. I just want you to know, I'm watching. I mean, them guys just, the Oklahoma Thunder is just looking just so good, and I'm watching. I want to see what's going to happen with them this season. You got Denver at 17-15, Minnesota at 14-13, Portland at 15-14, and Utah at 15-17. And then over in the Pacific, you have LA Clippers at 25-6. Man, the Los Angeles Clippers are playing some ball, man. They are 25-6. Looking real, real good. They're on a 17-win streak. Man, I didn't even realize that. Did y'all know that? I hadn't even, they kind of quietly doing it over there in Los Angeles. Didn't even realize the Clippers were playing that well this season. 17 game win streak. That's ridiculous. You got Golden State at 21-10. They're holding their own there. The Lakers, my God, 15-15. What in the world is going on with the Lakers? Sound like they just falling apart by the day. 15-15. Kobe, Dwight Howard, Nash. What's going on with those guys? I shouldn't do that, but I can't believe that. It sounds like, for me, the Lakers got some issues going on over there. They should have went with Phil Jackson. What do you think? They probably should have went with Phil. I think I would have went with Phil, but now that they're losing like this and they're not playing well, they're probably second guessing their choice. Nothing against I always say his name wrong, D'Antonio, however you say his name. Nothing against him, but he's definitely not helping them win right now. And then you got Sacramento at 11-19, Phoenix at 11-21. Boy, NBA is hot right now. Oklahoma City beat Phoenix 114-96. Houston did beat Atlanta though 123-104. Miami won in overtime over Orlando 112-110. Very interesting, huh? I'm telling you, LeBron just ain't trying to lose this year. LeBron wants another ring. And I'm going to tell you right now, yeah, you know, I love my Falcons and everything, but I mean my Hawks, the Atlanta Hawks, but I'm rooting for LeBron James, y'all. I'd like to see him get another one. You know, people dogged him so bad when he left Cleveland. They just talked about him like a dog and how he made his announcement on ESPN and all that stuff. Listen, this boy looking out for his future and his family's future. I mean, you guys act like that ain't something you would have done. If you had an opportunity to make the money he's making and do what he's doing, I mean, just alone in endorsements, $30 million a year. Eric! I don't think y'all need to be bothering LeBron James. Let that boy do what he's doing. It's his time. It is his season. I'm with you. Go, LeBron. Do your doggone thing. You know what I'm saying? Listen, guys, we're going to wrap it up. It has been a great week here. Talking about all of the different things that are going on in sports. Andy Reid is out. We're going to be watching to see where he lands, where he ends up. We're going to be watching to see who gets into the final rounds of the football league, to see who makes it through the wild card playoffs, and you know, the teams that are playing, that are trying to get in. We're going to be watching Cincinnati and Houston. We're going to be watching Minnesota and Green Bay. We're going to be watching Indianapolis, Baltimore, Seattle, and Washington. Definitely going to be watching that Washington game to see if RG3, man, I'm telling y'all something, if RG3 beats if RG3 and the Washington Redskins beat Seattle, that's going to be big. People are going to be excited. It's going to be ridiculous. This young man in his rookie season to be able to do what he's done, I promise you, everybody's going to be watching to see what happens with Washington. I'm definitely going to be watching, and I know you guys are too. And I can't wait to come back and tell you who's won and who came out on top. And then we're going to find out who's going to be playing who in the final round. I'm very excited about it. Guys, it has been a great week. Again, I want to finish with some positive stuff. Just want to say thank you again for your support. But listen, as I said last time, you're on the right track. You just had to take a quick detour. I want you to remember that in this 2013. I don't know what's going on with me with this track thing, but I got track on my mind. You got a plan, you got a goal, you got things you want to do in the new year. I'm telling you now, it's not going to happen if you don't get up off your butt and do it. You need to be on a runaway train headed in the right direction. Because if the train is a runaway and it's headed in the right direction, you're going to be okay. I said it. You're going to be okay. Let's get it done in 2013, y'all. I'm excited. Thank you so much for joining us here on SIBN Sports. You can find me on Facebook at SIBN Sportscast.fan page. Also, don't forget our website for all of our regularly scheduled programs is www.sibntelevision.com. You can find all of our regularly scheduled programs there and all that we are doing here at SIBN Television and Radio. I want to give a shout out to my producer and our coach, Marcus Salette, for all that he does every week to make this show happen. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for pushing us. Thank you for pulling on us and making us get it done. Y'all, it's your girl, Clara Salette, at the Sports Desk, SIBN Sportscast. Thank you for joining us, and I cannot wait to see you on next week. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time on SIBN Sports.
Once again, I'm Matthew Bugs, and this is SIBN Sports.
You're listening to SIBN Radio on the Select USA TV iBroadcasting Network.
You're listening to SIBN